Hello, this is Luminara Serdar with Autism Transformed. And what I'd like to do is help with the panic and the fear and the scarcity and the unknown that's out there in the world right now. And I'm sure your child is probably picking up on that energy. You know, they pick up on our stress, they pick up on that fear, and a lot of them are very empathic and they pick up on, far wider than in your household. They're very sensitive beings. And I think that as parents, we could all use a little calming down, and our kids can use a little calming down. When we get in that fight, flight, or freeze mode, our sympathetic nervous system is dominant, and we might feel kind of like a little jingly inside, even if we don't look like it from the outside. And what we want to do is bring that parasympathetic nervous system to make that more dominant, so we rest and digest and calm down. And this breathing exercise I'm offering you is going to help with that. So first of all, I'm going to explain it, and then I'll demonstrate it. I learned this from my yoga classes, and I don't know if it has a formal name, and I don't really know where it came from or who's the originator. It's probably quite old. But I call it the 4-6 breathing. And the idea is that we're going to inhale for 4 counts. We'll hold our lungs full for 1 count, and then we'll exhale for 6 counts. So you'll just count silently in your head. And at the bottom of that exhale, you just hold for a count. And then we'll start again. 4 counts in, hold 1 at the top or at full, 6 counts out. And don't worry if you can't inhale for 4 counts. You can do it for 3, you can do it for 2, you can do it for 7 in. It doesn't matter how many, it just matters that there's 2 counts, that your exhale is 2 counts slower than your inhale. So if you can only inhale for 3 counts, you exhale for 5 counts. And this is a way that not only will calm that nervous system into rest and digest, but it's also a way to notice your breathing and to begin to have control over your breathing. And if you think your child can't do this, you might be really surprised. So I would sit down as a family or sit with your child one-on-one and say, we're going to do this breathing exercise, even if you think they don't understand you, and just start doing it. And you're just, by demonstrating it, they're already going to pick up on it, because they'll pick up on your energy and they'll pick up on your calmness, and they might be able to settle down and calm and just sit with you and do it. Okay, so you can even do it with me as I demonstrate it. All right, here goes. There, I just did it 3 times with 4 breaths in, 1 breath holding, and 6 breaths out, and then holding 1 at the bottom. And as you do that, notice how your lungs expand. They expand in the front, but they also, your ribs expand, and they expand in the back as well. And then notice how when you exhale, you compress, your body compresses, and you want to even compress down into your belly so all your air goes out. And this is a great way to just learn to watch and control your breath and to completely relax. So give it a try, and I'd love to hear how it goes for you and what your child experiences, if they do it with you, if they don't do it with you. And don't give up after 1 try. Do it a few times throughout the day, or maybe do it at nighttime for bedtime, and you might be surprised what you're seeing. This is one that, again, helps calm the nervous system. And I learned this in my yoga class, too. I learned a lot in yoga, so it's great to take up yoga. Anyway, what this one is you put pressure here on your, right between your eyebrows, on your third eye. And I don't mean do what I'm doing, put your hand up there. But the idea is that we're going to do something that puts pressure here. And I'll give you a couple ways to do it. So the first way that is very relaxing for the whole body is to do a yoga pose, which is called child's pose. I'll demonstrate that in a moment. And then the second way is to just, if you have a table in front of you, just go ahead and put your hands there on the table. I'll demonstrate on my desk here, my bookshelf. You're going to put your hands together and put your third eye region right on your knuckles, like this. And that's really it. It's very simple. Now I'm going to have my yoga mat here. I'm going to demonstrate child's pose if you've never done it. You come down on your knees. Your arms go behind you, and your forehead goes right on the mat, like this. So you're sitting down on your knees, and then your knees, sitting down on your knees, and then your bottom sits on the back of your feet, on your heels, and then you just rest your head down. And I would say hold that for at least 30 seconds or a minute, because it just feels really good, and it's a really restful pose. And your arms are behind your back, at your sides, kind of behind you. So either one of those can help decrease that sense of fight or flight. So I invite you to do that. Show your kids how to do this, your child or your children, and notice what happens. And you might maybe want to do some other movements down on the floor while you're at it. So anytime your child's feeling anxious or scared, or you are, this is some tool in your toolbox that you can pull out at any time and go ahead and relax yourself by pressing there. Thanks for listening. Please share what happens, what you see and how you feel, and what you see for your child and how they might feel if they can tell you. I have a super simple calming tip for you. This comes from Brain Gym, called Positive Points. But first I'd like to explain that the front of the brain is our reasoning and our thinking, our cognitive part. And the back of the brain is more our reptilian brain, our reflexive, our danger area brain. So when there's danger or perceived danger, that's going to put us more in that fight or flight mode, and we're going to be more reactive. And when we're in this part of the brain, we're more thinking. We're not in that part of the brain. The positive points technique is simply putting your palms, your hands on your child's forehead, either both or just one. By doing so, you're using the electricity in your hand and bringing more electricity to the front of their brain. And you can do just that, just the front of the brain, or you can put one hand behind and one hand in front. And it has a very quick calming effect. Now, if you probably don't want to wait until there's a crisis moment. You probably want to practice this before there's a crisis, just in a kind of normal time. And you have your child come on over and say, hey, I want to try this thing. So like if there's any time you feel scared, we'll do this. And then demonstrate it, right? Put your hand there. You can say, do you like it this when I put my hand here? Or do you like when I put my hand both front and back? And then you can test out pressures. You can go very light, or you can go a little harder depending on what your child likes. So you check that out ahead of time so that when the stressful time for them comes, say a change in routine, or like we're all home right now, we're not going to school, so we don't have a normal routine, or when, you know, there's a fuss about something, or maybe someone strange comes to the door, or whatever happens, you have this technique and you can say, hey, do you want me to put my hand on your head? And that they'll remember they can remember what you did, and you can remember, hey, I did both hands, or I just did one hand, and then you can watch as your child's system calms down by that electricity that you put there. Please try it and tell me how it goes. I'd love to hear your feedback. So thank you.